Do this. Okay. So, all right, guys. So, in order to in order to learn to sell Cutco at booths, you guys know you have to be at 15K, and there's a serious certification process. We have to have the coordinator come out and like fly out here, train you, and then you have to field train in 2 different days to watch people that are selling Cutco to booth, and then you get like the bottom of the barrel, whatever's left over, shows and trade shows and everything as you're working your way up the ladder. That's how it works with the events. And you have to be at 15K to train, and then you have to be at 20K essentially to work. Sometimes you get stuck in there a little early, maybe. And that's how it goes for events. But for service calls, you have to be 15K in career sales to be able to do service calls, to be able to be trained. In order to be certified nationally, you have to sell 15K. You have to go through training, and then they want you to field train again for 2 days or watch other people that are trained service call reps, and you actually can watch someone who's proficient at service call trainings. Okay, even to do that. Now, you have to be at 15K, and SC2 is always a time where a lot of people will roll over that career sales mark. They're over 15K. You did it, yourself before that, Connor, and you did it before that, Evan. But you're still both. I'm sorry, Connor's. He sold near 100 grand, and that's different, right? But for you, Evan, even though you're only a month in the business or whatever it is, you've still sold, 20, 25 grand or whatever it is right now. Okay. What is it now? Is it 27 or something?
28.
28,000. So, but you've never been trained on service calls, okay? And we, because our CSPs are doing such a great job, they're getting invited to the Missouri State Fair, the Kansas, the Wisconsin State Fair, and then we're bringing in people for our state fair because we're going to run, I think 3 or 4 booths at it, and so we don't have enough CSPs to even run the state fair yet, where we really want to run it the way that we want to run it. However, we are bringing those people in and all that, but service call training is once you're trained and you do those couple quick field trainings, now you can own the sharpener, go to people's homes, sharpen their Cutco, and the more training you can get on that, the sooner, the better, right? Evan, even though you might be going on your mission soon, Bree, Kenzie, Trace, you, sir, and then we've got Connor here and a couple others, and then we have McKenna Truax from Grand Junction, and then Gwen from Southern Rockies and Abby from Southern Rockies. All of those people essentially need to get trained, excuse me. And then the problem is we have to have a service trainer, and that's Faith Perkins. She sold 2 million bucks worth of Cutco, essentially 1.8 million. And she's been, because she's going to Kansas, Missouri, Wisconsin, she's pretty much unavailable till October. But we want to get you guys trained as soon as possible. And again, I'm talking to 5 people, 8 people that aren't even on this call. I'm talking to you, Evan, and I'm actually talking to you, Connor, because you've been trained. But here's how it ties in. It's her family reunion this weekend, and she's not even supposed to be in town until after SE1 is SE2 is like kind of going. But because she's going to be gone from Utah and driving all over the country essentially for 2 months, we were going to try and like work with Dave Bush, Connor, and we may still do this. We may still not do what I'm about to tell you, but we're having a call with Dave Bush in about an hour and a half. But we're going to see if Patrick, me, and Jesse can run a service training for which we're not regionally or nationally certified. They don't know if they would even, we don't even know if they'll let us, even though I'm a division manager for crying out loud. But to be nationally certified, there's these requirements, and that is you have to be trained by a divisional trainer, and that's Faith. And having raised the issue and going through some things, what Faith graciously, Connor, has decided to potentially do, as long as we can bring everybody, is to run a service training before SC2 the morning of. So in essence, it would be ending at 1 o'clock on Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Friday afternoon. It would start at essentially 7 a.m. It's a 4-hour training. and you learn how to sharpen people's Cutco, and you get professionally trained, and you actually demonstrate or certify that you know how to sharpen Cutco. Does that make sense, Evan? And Connor's done this, but Connor, you're here because we're going to probably need a little help. And what this is going to mean to McKenna, to Abby, to Gwen, to you, Evan, to Bree, to Kenzie, to and Trace, is they actually will lose that 4 hours before the conference of like getting those last orders and selling the last, doing a last demo. I think you have a demo. I know you have a demo scheduled there, Evan.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, I'm like, I'd rather miss the demo and get certified if I'm a rep. I'd rather miss that demo, put that demo for Saturday. Yes, it won't count towards your push, but if it's the only time that Faith is going to be here till October and she's taking 4 hours, she's asking to stay at my house and there's a little, I'm not paying her, but there's a little compensation and a little whatever because we need it so bad in a good way. Um, Otherwise, we don't want to wait till October. And so we're asking her, and she's said graciously that she would be willing to run like a training for like it's like 10 people. And it's because you guys hit 15K or 28K in your case, Evan, right? But it's like if we have the chance to squeeze it in, I'd rather have everybody sell a little less for the push because you're still going to sell whatever you would have sold after the push. But if you can get that initial training, then we can immediately, Evan, for example, say, great, now Monday, Connor's going out and doing demos because he's working hard to win her trip to the 8-day cruise. We might be like, Evan, you can go field train with Connor right now on Monday. So the idea is the sooner we can get the training, the sooner we can get you guys actually sharpening people's Cutco. And it may not even be much before you leave on your mission, right, Evan? But if it's something, it's better than nothing. So I'm still working on getting. I haven't even talked to Bree, Kenzie. Jesse's talking to McKenna, and Gwen can do it, and Abby can do it. I wanted to let you guys know, essentially. So that's all I really needed you to be on. But if you want to loosely put that in your schedule, it's you'd have to drive out here a little earlier, 6 o'clock in the morning, right? Or whatever to get here by 7 and be ready for a service call sharpening people's cut code training. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Any
have to think about
questions?
that
Yeah.
decision.
And
Um,
again, because you are going on your mission, it's like, do I do this or not?
yeah.
I think, just so you know, I think it'd be worth it to get trained, even if in 2 more years you have to retrain. At least you'd be a certified service rep already.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That will have in Vector, it'll be known that you've already done the training. And yeah, we'll do a refresher for you when you come home. And you may sharpen two people's knives before you leave, and that's it. I think it still would be a valuable, thing. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll work on it. I wanted to get that recorded. I'm gonna